So that's sort of the main idea for this. But now let's go ahead and introduce you to Weldments. I think the video might already be a little on the long side. It's only 7 minutes so far. All right, so Weldments will create a new part. In some cases, it might be easier to just build a thing from basic stuff that you would learn in basic SolidWorks. But this Weldments is a fine tool. The trouble is that you can really kind of start messing things up a little bit if you try to get too fancy, and it could get a little messy. So I'll try to demonstrate that. So first, what we want to do is create a three-dimensional sketch, and this could be really bothersome. So you want to try to listen to what I'm explaining to you. You want to probably draw one line at a time, and with the thing. And if it'll let me, it is not letting me grab a hold of it. Okay, there we go. And I want to set this thing in the Z-axis. Boom. It's difficult because you can never. It's difficult to tell where you are when you're drawing things right here. So that's one of the complication. So I'm going to make that this part right here, right? That's going horizontally. And so I'm going to make it. That dimension was an L4. So it says 1.5 feet. So whatever it was, it's 18 inches. I'm in inches right now. And now I want to, let's say, I think it's going to be a good practice to use these center lines for things as part of our measurements, right? And you can try to get that preview thing to put the thing in the right line. But you got to double check. You can see that thing. It shows that it's along the X. If you can't see the relations, make sure that we're showing sketch relations under View, Hide, Show, Sketch Relations. But if perhaps that wasn't on there, right? If you just drew a random line right here, you want to grab a hold of this and force this to be in the X direction. My office hours is asking me if I'm still there. I'm still here. Okay, so I've drawn a straight line out there. In here, it says I have a dimension A, and I have this length. Now, unfortunately, this length, they're giving it to us in that direction. So I'll go ahead and work out here my other line. So I'm going to make that into A right here. No. I meant to make that a. There you go. I'll make that a along the Z. And you see how far off I was. I thought I was drawing it in the Z direction, but I wasn't. That's one of the things you have to be really careful with. Let me put this guy on the center point of that, the midpoint. There you go. And oh yeah, he's still a solid line. I want to make this is actually for construction, and I'm going to make this the dimension for A is 2.5 feet, and so that's what 24 plus 6, so it's 30, right? Math. And we don't have a length yet right here. That's why it's still blue. But we're going to go ahead and put this leg in, and we'll put this leg in. All right, and then this thing gave us. So there was the A right there. They gave us that this was L3, 3 feet, so 36, right? And I'm almost doing too much for you right here by way of doing this right here. But I think you're going to have difficulty otherwise. I'm going to put this, and I'm going to make sure that I didn't allow it to do any of the default relations. I'm going to set that into the Z, and then it gave us that dimension. Actually, it probably shouldn't give us that dimension. It should say Okay, so they gave us, unfortunately, it gave us this L5. I don't think we should use that L5. I didn't write this up, but I think that will just be decided by 1/2 of L3 and L3. So it actually could have gone to the midpoint. L3 was 3, so this will be. I will just make them go to the 18 inches here. 18. And okay, so it established that was fully defined. We're going to go up the L2. It did give us an H. It didn't give us an H. An H is something we're going to determine for ourselves. Let's pick an H. And this is going to be difficult to make right here. I think I'm going to make it look more like this thing over here than this. In Weldments, this thing can get all kind of skewed in that kind of thing, and so you're going to get all screwy. So instead of sending you down that rabbit hole, I guess it's probably good that I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm going to make it straight up, so it's going to be in the Y direction right there, and I'm going to make it so that we're going to push it like right around that spot. And I think, you know, if I just stand up and I'm going to push the thing 36 inches. 3 feet seems about right. So there you go. That's how I decided that. That's engineering right there. 36. Oh, it's pretty close to it anyway. So we have 36, and we're going to make a cross piece, even though one of the diagrams doesn't have a cross piece. So let me see. All right, so that one, we'll make this in the X direction, Z direction, boom, fully defined so far, okay? And let's see, I'm gonna go upwards. Okay, so the total height of this thing is called L2, and that should be something we pay attention to. L2 is 6.5 feet. So we're gonna come up, I'm gonna make this straight up from here, and I'm going to make that height from there to there, and 6.5 feet, 72 plus 6, 78 inches. Boom. 78 inches. Now there's a couple decisions to make as we make this thing. This is some detail here. I don't want to mess this up too badly by making it overly complicated. I'm going to make a line right here, and it's in the Z, and I'm going to pick it right there, and I'm going to make a decision about that. I'm going to pick it to be 4 inches right now. I don't know if that's the right one, but I think I'm going to need that, and I'm going to make these guys like this right here. Okay, so I already have this like wicked complicated. Now I don't know if I want to have the hassle of this next part, but I will. I'll do it. I could do this later. All right, I'm going to make this guy in the X direction. You can tell how messed up the thing will be if you don't do this one piece at a time. And that's going to be the length of this, right? I'm concerned about this little transition area right there and what that looks like. I think I would make that closer to what you're seeing here, which is like have a flat plate gusset, and so you have a place for that to go across. But anyway, let's see, that L1 is going to be 5 feet right here. So there you go. There's the 60 inches. And now we have the main frame of this thing done. Okay, and so here you go. Now we go into the Weldments part of this thing. So here's your introduction to Weldments. We want to insert a weldment. So I think you have to do this. You say insert weldment, and then nothing happened. Now what you do is you can insert weldments and a structural member. Now here's where the fun begins, because this could be really challenging. We could do the trim later on. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. So sometimes going off a little bit at a time can really help. But here we go. We're going to pick ANSI inch. We're going to pick the type right here, and we're going to pick a rectangular tube. And just for demonstration, I'm going to pick the 4 by 3 by 1/4 inch. Now, once again, this is just going to be a visual representation of the thing because it's we would like to actually pick out like what the size of the thing is. But SolidWorks, the place where you go and you add the Weldment sketches, it requires that you have rewrite privileges onto the main drive, and we don't. Okay, so you'll see what I'm doing here is I just clicked on those 3 pieces, and it just built this, and it knew to miter the joints, and those are things that we could choose. We could choose how they do the corner treatment. You can see that we could have that you could miter, and you can pick these little segments, the little pink things in between to try to make those. You can also adjust where on here. All right, so I drew it right through the middle, and that's going to be probably okay for most of this. That looks a little big to me, so I'm actually going to choose the only other real choice that I have right here is the smaller section. Okay, I could start trying to pick the other lines, but that's just going to cause problems most of the time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Right, and at some point we probably want to save this thing. And this is 470 project, and I'm going to call this Weldments example. But you can kind of see where this is like really useful when you're building like little structures and that kind of thing. All right, so we're going to insert some more. I don't know where the Weldments toolbar used to have a Weldments toolbar, and I don't know where it went. But see, we're going to put this guy in there. Now, see, what happened here is he came in the wrong way, right? So what we're going to have to do is going to have to rotate the section 90 degrees. Boom. And you also, this can be a little troubling. You know, right there was not the right spot for us. So sometimes what we might have to do, we might have to change our mind of how we're going to use the sketch, because, well, for one thing, we don't have the ability to change the section so much. We can locate the profile, and so we could like set it out over to there. But see, that didn't do it right there. I think I might want to locate profile and actually make it. No, it picks these predefined points. That's one of the troubles with not being able to edit the sketch, because you can add in points where you want them. So what I might want to do is go back, and then when I make my sketch, like maybe I will edit this and locate my profile, and we'll say that the profile or the sketch, let's see, it decided to go to right here. Let's make it right there. All right, so it's going to be on that back. Did it do it on the back? Yeah, it did it on the back. So now everything should be, yeah, now our sketch is the outside of this. All right, so that's going to work out for us. So now when we go in to, you know, and that's a decision. I mean, that's a real decision that you want to try to make. Are you measuring things from the inside or the outside? A real decision that you'd make when engineering this. And now we're going to go ahead and put this in there. And you're going to see we're going to need to rotate it 90 degrees again. And maybe I want to come into the, I want to locate, oh, I got to locate the profile. It's going to be right back there. Still not perfect. And wow, for some reason, okay, well, that makes sense because this should be straight up and down. But you can see some of the details that are kind of messed up right here. We might want to, as part of this, we could do some trim operations later on. But I mean, hopefully you'll start to see that like the devil's in the details here, because of the fact that we're flaring outwards is going to make how we make this transition in between. This I tell you, this is engineering, or the engineering that I had to take care of a lot of times was that like trying to figure out like, well, how are you actually going to build this thing? It's one of the useful parts of SolidWorks. You have to actually think your way through. So let me try this. I'm going to leave that there. You could see how that doesn't quite look very good. Let me go back and change this one here. And so now I'm going to locate the profile down in the bottom or the top corner. On the top right there. Boom. Okay, so now you see that I've made this thing so it's on top, and I could probably weld, I might weld a little itty bitty plate like in there, or put a gusset right into this location right there, but it is going to work out a little bit better. And then I have to do, let me do a couple more of these. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I want you to have some experience in working with this. But how about we do the cross piece right here? We'll take the cross piece and we'll see, well, that's going to be okay, but I think I'm going to need to locate the profile at the top. Yep, that's going to be pretty good. And we could trim these later, just so you know. All right, so I'll show you how to do the trim. We insert Weldment and then trim/extend, and we go bodies to be trimmed, this one, and then we could trim it with a body, right? So we could trim it like that right there, and you could see that it will trim that whole thing off, although unfortunately it's going to leave some left over, and I hate that. I will not allow extension. It's still that preview. So let me show you what happened. Nope, it went ahead and took care of it. Ooh, good. That's good news. So we do the other side too. So this is the body to be trimmed, that guy. Body to trim, boom, and it's showing that thing. Let's make sure that it. Let's see, would it get out? Oh, it did get rid of the thing. Okay, so there you go. And someone would be able to weld in all the gaps that are there. Let me continue on with a few more things. And I'll put him into place. I gotta rotate him. And then I have to locate the section, I think in the back corner. It's gonna give me close to the thing. It looks pretty good. And the truth is, I could have, when doing this one, let me delete that section. When I was doing this one right here, I could have included this and that. Boom. All right, so you can take some shortcuts. Maybe you don't want to do that miter though. So I might cut back that thing. And then you might want to do the miter based on this and then put a cross piece in, right? So there's definitely a thought process that's coming in here. So I'm going to put in a structural member here. I'm going to go here and here, right? But we need to rotate that profile 90 degrees. And we need to locate the profile. Oh, it's up there. Let me see. Is right there going to be okay? Yeah. Now you can kind of see where I decided to make this thing 4 inches had kind of a decision on how big that part right there was going to be. Right, that we get, and then we can also see that we're going to have to do some trimming right here. So we're going to insert Weldments and our trimming, and I think we want to trim that one by using that one. Whoa, and that didn't work out. Nope, that's not working. Let's see. Well, there you go. Okay, so you have to be careful what you pick up above, right? There's the edge end trim, or there's the end miter right there. So that gave us what we wanted to do. And then we said the same thing up here for Weldments. We want to, oh, no, I want to insert my trim. And I might as well just do the whole damn thing if I'm going to do this right here, right? All right, it remembered the last one that we did. That looks pretty good. And then insert Weldments here. By the way, you can make this thing crash like really easy, so just be on the lookout. So I don't know, we don't necessarily need to make rotate this one. Like we might want to keep it, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be flush with the front here. I'll show you what I mean. We could just locate this thing back over to here, boom, right, as part of that. So it doesn't need to be, you know, it wouldn't necessarily need to be rotated, but you could rotate it. I mean, these are some design decisions that you might make as part of this thing. And we want to probably locate the, is that the wrong spot? Let me see. Yeah, this is the wrong spot. Let's locate it right to there. See? That might look nicer for you. I don't know. We want to insert the trim as part of this. We're going to trim it with this. We're going to trim it with that and that. But we're not going to do it with the miter. We're going to do it like that. And I hope that's going to work out right here. Yeah, I think so. We might want to have trimmed it with there. There might be like a little corner that's like actually sticking out through. And what you're supposed to end up doing with this, by the way, is it can generate like this weld list, and you could actually put in the welds onto the thing. So it'll like create a list. Like you could put it like the bead welds in here. You could put gussets in this as well, and then those are kind of cool and a good idea. Like, you know, to put in a gusset. Let me see, is it going to let me supporting faces? So I want that face and that face. And you can see that I can make a gusset. And I might want to make a gusset that has a Polygon Gusset. No, I want to have right here. Yep, you might want to put like a little thing in there because you don't want to like weld in corners if you can avoid it. But you can kind of see. Let's see, let's make this thing substantial, right? Let's make it like, you know, well, actually, we could actually take a look at it, and it's nice to put a little, we call these toes, a 1/2-inch toe on the thing, so maybe something like that right there as a gusset. You want to take a step back and take a look. That's kind of small. I think 5 inches would be probably about what I would say. There are some there is some guidance on this type of thing that can be found, and you can see that that's not quite lining up. So I might actually have to play around. I don't like how that's looking right there. So I don't know. I might not put that gusset in because it's all screwed up. I might actually have to build, you know, create a new plane that's aligned with this, and then so that I can like put it there. You know, when you want to put the thing and make it correct, you might have to take some more amount of steps. But yeah, you know, like I might want to actually like make a sketch onto this thing right here, and a lot of times what I will do is I will like attach onto, and hopefully it's in the correct plane. Maybe I'm going to correct like this right here, right? And I'm going to decide that that distance to that distance is, ooh, make it driven? No, I don't want to. Let's see. No. See, it's letting me decide that length, so I must be able to decide this right here. Ooh. Make this driving. I don't know. I made it like 8 inches, but it's not right. No, oh, it's degrees. That's why. These aren't parallel with each other. I need to make that a horizontal line. Nope, didn't like it. Is that a vertical line? Why won't it let me do this? Oh, because that perpendicular right there. Okay. Horizontal line. There you go. All right. So now that angle. There we go. All right. So this is what I wanted to do. How big? Let's just leave it at 4 inches for right now. There you go. And then I might extrude into the thing, and I'm going to extrude the other direction, and I might make this like 1/4 inch plate, and I'm going to check into the thing, boom, and now I have a place that I could weld to, that I would put onto here, and then if I insert one more weldment into place, I'm going to insert this guy. And you know, he looks kind of like thin and wobbly to me, but you know, we would want to check that out right there. Boom, and let's trim this off here. So I'm going to insert Weldments, trim. And we want to trim this guy, and now we're going to use, like, when bodies or faces, you could use this face right there, and I think it'll trim it off 100%. Let me see. Yeah, I think it got rid of everything. Yep. So that's it right there. That is our frame, right? And we would probably, because it is a cartoon of the thing, you might want to consider just keeping it with these in the picture here, but then like actually, you know, calling the thing out as the correct cross section that you would pick from things. So it's a long video, yeah, 35 minutes, but I basically did it for you. So you could just back up and find it. So I think it'll not be quite as painful for you. But see, let's see, where'd we go right here? Where did SolidWorks just go? I lost it. There you go. How come you're not coming over to the side for me? Because you don't want to. That's why. Because you just don't want to. All right. And then you don't want to do that either. You don't want to be picked up. There's no place to pick you up from. There you go. I found an edge. So there you go. There's our, and I can move myself over there. There is, with the dimensions that have been provided. And then I could start adding details onto this thing. And I could put this plate into place. I could put a representation of the gearbox in there. Doesn't have to be the actual gearbox, but it can. It can be in an assembly. You can put the thing in there. You could put in a representation of the motor. When we have the pulleys and the bolts and the welds, you can start to add to this. So this, you'll be a real engineer, and we can have a real diagram of a real hoist that you have designed, and you could say, I did this. The end of the 36-minute video. Weldments. Aren't they nice?